I want to perform their favorite song, but you know they love to sue.
So Drake claims that Kendrick Lamar's Super Bowl halftime show was defamatory. Let's get into it.
Trap music history expert A.R. Shaw.
A.R. Shaw. A.R. Shaw. A.R. Shaw. It's A.R. Shaw.
A.R. Shaw, author of Trap History, Atlantic Culture, and the Global Impact of Trap Music.
Welcome back to the channel. This is A.R. Shaw, A.R. Shaw TV. I am the author of the book Trap History, Atlantic Culture, and the Global Impact of Trap Music. Like, subscribe, leave a comment. Let's definitely have some dialogue. So, this Drake Kendrick Lamar beef doesn't seem like it's going anywhere. During the Super Bowl, during Kendrick Lamar's historical Super Bowl halftime performance, at the end of the performance in lights at the stadium, I was there. I was there at the Superdome. It had game over. And, that could mean a lot of things, but in particular, when it comes to the battle, a lot of people were like, maybe this is an end to this Drake versus Kendrick rap battle that we've pretty much been, on the sidelines and witnessing for the past year. If you think about it, Like That came out March 2024, and we're really coming close to the anniversary of Like That, which pretty much was the jab that kind of set everything in motion with this Drake versus Kendrick Lamar situation. Now, we all got an opportunity, I'm sure, to see this Super Bowl. 133 million people watched the Super Bowl. I'm sure it was more, considering the streaming and the people who watched that weren't counted by Nielsen. So we probably want to say that there was probably 20 more million people that watched that probably wasn't accounted for. And over the past few weeks leading up to the Super Bowl, everyone was trying to figure out, would Kendrick Lamar rap Not Like Us? Would Kendrick Lamar stay away from pretty much the biggest rap song, possibly it is the biggest diss record in history, but it's coming close to being the biggest song in hip hop history, just from a number standpoint, possibly from an impact standpoint. Now, Kendrick did a great job of pretty much playing to this thing during the Super Bowl performance when he had his people, they really liked to sue, which was something that he kind of hinted to when during his performance. Was he gonna do this? Was he gonna do this Not Like Us? And this is what he did.
I want to perform their favorite song, but you know they love to sue.
And so Kendrick Lamar's tongue-in-cheek, hinting at this lawsuit against Not Like Us and UMG, it all played well, and I think people who got that joke appreciated that joke and the player, and pretty much building up that moment to when he actually performed Not Like Us. Now, Drake has doubled down. His legal team, they've pretty much doubled down in terms of this lawsuit against Universal Music Group, claiming that Not Like Us is defamatory. Now, this week, Drake's lawyers, they actually sent a note to the judge, and it hinted at Kendrick Lamar's Super Bowl performance and him performing Not Like Us, claiming that it was defamatory. And I'm going to read you this quote, okay? So this is what Drake's lawyers sent to the judge. It says it is basically about UMG. They want to delay discovery. They want to kind of it's a chess game when it comes to legal proceedings. And each side, a lot of times they just want to stall out. Hopefully, the other side would drop or just back away from any legal proceedings, or they may come to some type of agreement. Now, this is what Drake's lawyers sent to the judge, which hinted at Kendrick Lamar's Super Bowl performance. It says, delaying discovery would unfairly prejudice Drake, who is continuing to suffer the consequences of UMG's defamatory campaign. Indeed, at the same time UMG has been displaying here, UMG launched new campaigns to further spread the defamatory context, not like the defamatory content, Not Like Us, including at the 2025 Super Bowl halftime show, which had over 133.5 million viewers. And so they're doubling down. They're saying that Kendrick Lamar's halftime show continued to pretty much put Drake in a bad light. And we have to kind of really call it like it is. It's really what we call a punk move in terms of Drake, and something that's unprecedented in hip hop. I've talked about this in previous videos. Drake's, you pretty much, when we talk about the beginning of this entire rap battle, you were begging Kendrick Lamar to participate in this rap battle. Kendrick Lamar gave a firm warning. And with Euphoria, the song Euphoria, the first diss track Euphoria, Kendrick said, let's just make this a friendly fade, which means we could just go bar for bar, make it, keep it lyrical, keep it hip hop. Let's not bring any family or friends and any loved ones. Let's not bring their names up. So what did Drake do? It's something that Drake has always done in terms of he finds a way to bring women into the discussion. He did that with Pusha T. He's doing that now with Kendrick, and we saw it backfire. He mentioned Kendrick's fiance, and he mentioned Kendrick's kids, and claiming that Kendrick wasn't the father of his son. And Kendrick pretty much at that point, it's like, all right, if Drake is willing to go there, and then Kendrick took it further or just responded to the what was thrown at him, I don't know how Drake can feel like, okay, if you decided to put this energy out and then this energy came back to you, and now you're mad that the energy came back to you 10 times or in a way that you never imagined that it could come back to you, and now you want to sue. It's just insane to me. But I'm gonna go further. I don't think that I think Drake and his attorneys are really, they're missing the entire gist of this thing. I think some people have got online and they're saying that, okay, Kendrick, he did too much to really talk about this Drake beef by performing Not Like Us and performing Euphoria, performing Peekaboo, which a lot of people say has a lot of subtle disses to Drake. But if you think about it, if you watch that entire Super Bowl halftime show from Kendrick Lamar, it really wasn't about Drake. If you really look at this entire thing, I did an entire video about the decoding the Super Bowl. I've been on several podcasts talking about the decoding of the Super Bowl, and pretty much the real indictment of America that the Super Bowl represented. And Not Like Us wasn't just about Drake. I think if you really peel back the layers and the entire performance of Kendrick Lamar, which pretty much was like a stage play. It was like a Broadway stage play, if we really want to be honest, or like a movie. It felt like a movie. It didn't really feel like a halftime show. It felt like a bigger story that was being told. Drake was pretty much, in my eyes, Drake was almost like a symbol of something greater. When Kendrick Lamar, once he looked in the camera and said 40 acres and a mule, this is bigger than the music, he was talking about something bigger than what Drake represents. This is bigger than the music. This is bigger than a rap beef. This is about the colonization of black culture, of the colonization of black people. And Kendrick made he did it in a way that was subversive, and the first time people watched the Super Bowl, they didn't know what was happening. They didn't know what was going on. A lot of people had to watch it 2 or 3 times to really figure out the messages, really figure out what Kendrick Lamar was doing with this Super Bowl halftime show. Drake really wasn't, Drake wasn't, he took some shots at Drake. We can't say that he wasn't taking shots at Drake. Especially when he looked in the camera and said, "Hey, say Drake, I heard you like I'm young." I think that was probably one of the most hilarious moments when Kendrick Lamar actually looked into the camera, hinting and smiling deviously at Drake, saying, I heard you like I'm young. But yeah, I think it's bigger. I think that indictment of Drake in the third verse, the third verse of what's the last verse of Not Like Us, when he talks about Atlanta. I did an entire article about how Kendrick broke down the history of Atlanta and how black people were used and people were basically stealing and colonizing and taking from the culture of Atlanta. And how Drake pretty much represented that same thing in this day and age in terms of coming to Atlanta and teaming up with some of the biggest artists in Atlanta. And I've interviewed pretty much every artist that Drake has been involved with. And I'm not saying that Drake didn't help some of those artists, because of course, if a lot of those artists who they were coming up at a time when Drake gave them a verse that helped their visibility a lot, and so a lot of artists got paid. But in a sense of a culture thing, the sound, does Drake really represent a sound? Does he really represent a particular flow? Or is he really gravitating towards different other genres, other subcultures to latch on to, and not really paying homage to those cultures? And so that was Kendrick's main point. But like I say, I think it's deeper than just what Drake represents. It kind of like it's a bigger indictment of America. And we talk about what's happening now with this new administration, what's happening in terms of just the attacks that's happening on people who have always dealt with these attacks. A plane crash, and I didn't want to blame it on DEI, and we know that what DEI means. And I think we have to really be honest about what's happening here in America. And Kendrick Lamar's performance was he really called it out. And it's a performance. At the end of the day, it's just a performance. And a lot of people are saying, yeah, it's just a performance. It doesn't really, it's not going to change any laws. When Donald Trump watches, if he watches Kendrick Lamar's performance, it's not like he's going to wake up and say, oh, I want to change now because I saw Kendrick Lamar's performance. No, it's not. That's not really what it's about. What it's about is that performance. When it comes to art can spark and pretty much, art can spark a revolution. With songs, with, whether it's a piece of artwork, whether it's, music, whether it's a play, whether it's a movie, art can spark a revolution when it's viewed by the right person, when it's viewed by the right people. And so we're not saying that Kendrick is like the person who, who's going to spark this revolution, but there's somebody who saw that Super Bowl halftime show, and it might be a young person who sees it and say, man, this is, and it makes you look at life differently, and it makes you approach life differently. And so those things are how you're inspired by a piece of art. And so that's what it is. And so if a piece of art can pretty much inspire change, I'm for it. I think we need more pieces of art that's going to inspire change. I hope people watch this video out and inspired to have their own change within their own communities. And so that's why I do it. Whether I'm writing an article, whether I'm doing a podcast, whether I'm writing my book, Trap History, Atlanta Culture, and the Global Impact of Trap Music. Y'all pick that up. I think we can use art as a vehicle to inspire and to create change. And so I hope that's what it's about. But it's just interesting to see that Drake is doubling down, his team doubling down on this lawsuit, claiming that Not Like Us is defamatory. Now we're going to see what happens in the days to come. I'm sure this is not going to be the end of it. This is pretty much one of the craziest moments in hip hop history that we've seen a rap battle pretty much end up in the Super Bowl. And we're going to see what happens next with both Kendrick Lamar and Drake. Both of them are still selling good. I mean, Drake's latest project with P&D is charted at the top of the charts. And so, both of these both artists can still be successful after this rap beef. But the way that Drake is going about his life after this rap beef, it's really corny, it's really off-putting, and it's something that's anti-hip-hop. It's something that's anti-culture. And we're just going to continue to watch and see what happens next. I am A.R. Shaw, the author of the book Trap History, Atlanta Culture, the Global Impact of Trap Music. Definitely like, subscribe, comment, share. Let me know your thoughts on this entire thing that's happening with Kendrick Lamar and Drake. Do you think it's the end, or do you think that we're going to continue to talk about one of the biggest rap beefs in hip-hop history? I'm out.